doing that aggressively. And I mean, Yana Ash, same gun, doesn't really matter. But Raze does find the opening pick after going down early last time around in a trade. This time around he finds the opening pick, so Raze just actively involved in a lot of the opening engagements for Project V, and they're playing around their team a lot. And it's been working for them so far. They've been winning and staying on top in terms of man advantage when it comes to entry engagements. So now they can use a minute and 30 to just tear up the floor again with the boogies. Of course, the ram being brought out again. They've got the hatch open. They probably have both hatches open at this point. And so now they can just burn through a lot of utility, and Raze gets a second kill onto KP as well. Now Mac with a trade onto Raze finally, but he's done his damage. He's gotten 2 kills, and that's all he needed on that entry job. And now the Thermite is running for the site. Dookie tries to catch him, doesn't really get that. Now with a minute left, we've already have site control for Project B, and this is going to be quite scary.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. While Osprey Order take 2 frags and it's 2v3. They did drop Monte Hatch while Buck is inside of Monte and the other one is above Kitchen Hatch. The Fuser is in Arsenal and they're smoking that shit down quite badly. While I don't know where they're going for. I think they're going for frags. I can't lie. The Fuser is middle of the side while the Buck is taking that last kill over there in Moto. Yeah, they're going
Beautiful.
For yeah. It's quite interesting how they shift their focus from picking up the Fuser. It's a 1v1. Oh, it's going way too fast for me.
Just 20 seconds left on the board. Dookie now with 3 kills on the board. He will have to find a 4th for himself in the server, but he won't be able to connect that as SPG is able to find it. And although this one was a lot closer, the initial execute was shut down. They adapt, they go for kills instead. They just, like you said, they adapt their take. They say, okay, well, that didn't work. Let's ignore the diffuser. Let's just go for church. And they're able to put it into a 1v1, and they're able to take down Dookie in the 1v1. And we've got Project V, and I think we have a game on our hands as Osprey is struggling to put together a round on defense.
Yeah, that's totally right. Hopefully they're going for another side, and indeed they do. They go to CCTV Cash, which is, I wouldn't necessarily say the best secondary side to go. I would prefer Gym, but that's just my opinion. But they're going for an CCTV take. I've not seen who they took as operators quite well. The Azami, the Jaeger, the Melusi, quite same setup as they had on basement for their bunker take. However, I don't see them bunkering down on this side too much. But hopefully they'll hold garage quite well with those Azamis. You can see the Jaegers as well on that rafters. Quite interesting to see if they will make a rotation into garage or not. That's always quite interesting to see.
Yeah, exactly. Took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, when it comes to bunkering down on top floor, you can't really bunker down on site. I think the only way to bunker is to hold rafters. I think that is the most important part of that site. It's why this site has become weaker and weaker as time has progressed, because teams just, they'd rather go to gym or basement where they have the option to defend the site from the site itself. For CC, it's quite difficult to defend a site when you no longer have the cache pinch together with rafters. And so as soon as you lose rafters control, it's quite difficult to retake it, unless you maybe have vert control, and then you need to play around info. And so as long as the attackers clear your information, as long as they counter your intel game, there's no way you can deny the plant. So there's a lot of ways into the site directly, especially that window on CC. Main breach is open. That's also something that is hardly able to... There we go. Opening pick goes on to Dookie. Dookie just swinging out wide, not ready for that breach being open already. Raze finds another. Now Mac able to find a trade onto Hauptmann, but Osprey just, yet again, not having the man advantage. Mac has to pull himself back onto site as RPKF is actually able to find the Thermite. But the wall's already open, so in that regard, it isn't that painful for them to lose the Heartbreaker. But of course, you've lost another player, and especially the diffuser, so that will have to get picked back up as there's a fight ensuing onto rafters. And they'll have a decent amount of control for Osprey, but there's so much time left. RPKF finds another onto Raze. And now I'm just wondering how that execute's going to come down.
Yeah, you hate to see it. You hate to see it when there is a quick communication error on the side of Osprey Order. Just swinging their rafters, getting killed from breach so early into the round. Yeah, you hate to see it, but as we've been talking, it's a 2v1 essentially with the mute lost. Going for the C4, but it's unreal how many kills they got from that breach. It's I wouldn't necessarily say that was a great round from Osprey Order, but we bounce. Hopefully they can actually they're going for a tactical time. I was just about to say hopefully they can reassess their situation and bounce back from this, because what I've seen so far from that CCTV defense, it wasn't too good.
Yeah, I like that timeout coming in now. You know, you've played 3 rounds. That's usually when you want to take a timeout. I mean, the judgment for 3 rounds is usually on attack. You want to take a timeout after you've seen 3 separate bomb sites and you don't find any success, then you take a timeout. Of course, Osprey is on defense, but it's a best of one. If you go down 3 rounds, you should take a timeout, slow it down, just stop the momentum from Project V and just figure out what you want to do differently, because there's just a few communication issues and like maybe 1 or 2 gunfights that aren't going Osprey's way. And that is costing them the rounds because Project V is reading into that perfectly. I mean, Project V have come to play and Osprey is not warmed up yet, it seems, and
Hmm.
that's just the issue. And so the timeout, just talking through what they might want to change, and they're going back to cash CC. And I think they might have picked up on your point. You know, just losing too many players to the main breach. If you just avoid that, you can easily win the round.
I was about to say now that CCTV is actually quite a easy site to take if you're an attacking team, coordinated with calls and throwing, because you just have to get off the rafters, dude, and then take control of garage, and then it's basically a planned post-planned situation. But as we saw, the breach was open, and rafters was just swinging openly, and got killed from that, you know. And Project V, they took those mistakes from Osprey Order quite well and adapted really quickly, taking garage ASAP and then going for the plan. And as we saw, it was a very quick round for Project V taking that. But you know, we can see Osprey Order going for the same side, going however for the same setup as well. Hopefully they don't make the same mistake twice, and can win, can put a round on the board for them.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser. Big fucking hole coming right up. Attackers have located a bomb.
And oh, there we go. It's a fast round. As already Raze us in with a shotgun. All right, I did not expect this. And we've got a 4v4. Raze is just, he's throwing a flashbang directly at the enemy. He does not care. And there we go. The shotgun finds the player. RPKF going down as well. He's exposed to the player on red as well. And he does get traded. Slash finds another one onto KP as well, though. And Dookie finds one. And now he recovers it for his team, as now it's a 2v2. They might be able to hold on, as the last 2 remaining players are both inside of Garage. If Hauptmann can read into this, he can just hold the cutoff and they might be able to go for a plan, but the diffuser is down, I think, inside of the window on Garage. But it doesn't matter, as Hauptmann does catch Dookie. Now it's only down to Damien, who's down below. He's still full HP, but he has no denial to play with, and SPG is going to start going for the plant. Damien has to find Hauptmann here. Then he has to go for that second pick immediately after. But no, Hauptmann is able to win the fight. There we go. Project V, despite the timeout from Osprey, they just continue to roll over Osprey Order, and this is starting to look dire for them.
Yeah, while I feel that because we missed the first couple of seconds of the round, while I feel like Osprey Order took that timeout and, you know, reassessed the situation and moved some pieces around on the CC defense, still wasn't quite enough to hold back Project V. You know, that Lion rushing in quite quickly, taking off two entry kills, and then essentially the Buck heading into cash, claiming that side for himself. And then at the end of the day, it was just two guys from Osprey Order stuck in garage and nothing they're able to do. You know, it's default strats for attack that aren't quite effective for Osprey Order, for Project V, as they opt for a more aggressive take. But as we can see, Osprey Order going back into CCTV, but this time with the Mira. It's quite interesting to opt for the Mira. I wouldn't necessarily say that's best option for this side, especially if you look at how Project V have attacked this side. But I'm quite interested to see how the Mira will play out.
Yeah, all right. And I'm also curious because we've seen 4 rounds. We're moving into round 5. Half is nearly over for Osprey, and we haven't seen a single Jim. Jim is one of the stronger sites on this map at the moment in the current metas, and you're just not choosing to bring it out. With a mirror on the board, it's very easy to hold onto that Jacuzzi breach because it's quite difficult to clear bathroom when you're in that position. I think the Kai's on the board as well. Max able to find the opening pick. And Damien's about to go into a gunfight with the Capitao, but no. Just a bit of bad timing, able to avoid that. Now, just continuing to keep himself alive inside of Garage. He does get droned out. But Osprey do have the opening pick. Damien doesn't have to overstay his presence if they don't need it. And might be able to catch the sledge going into Lounge. He takes a gunfight with him, but he whiffs on it as Hauptmann is able to clear that. And Hauptmann still has one more grenade, going to use that on Vert. If KP walks into that, that might be dangerous. He does take a bit of damage, but ultimately nothing from it. Max still on Rafters. Now starting to try and clear him out as Slash is able to find Mac. There we go. He gets taken down and Rafters control is gained for Project V again. And just a player pushing the breach after one of the Ossa shields gets taken down, but he still loses that fight. Ossa just pushing in off of that. Not able to find anything, but you can see Hauptmann already going up the staircase, and suddenly KP's on a 1v3 again. This is hardly going to be clutchable for him, and yeah, we're looking at a 5-0 for Project V, and now Osprey have one more round to try and salvage this before they switch to half, and we might be looking at a match point.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard to watch to see Osprey fumble this hard under their CCTV defenses. I wouldn't necessarily say that the Mira pick was that helpful, but they're finally going to gym and up for the Mira as well. Let's just forget the previous round, because they just gotta take one round at least and go into the split 5-1. That's their best chance of actually grabbing some points here, because if they go 6-0 on this half, it looks quite dire, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, the best chance for them now is to avoid just immediate match point and get that 5-1 half and then try to storm back and do what Project V did to them, or even better, just do your own 6-0 half and close out the game 7-5, but certainly at the moment not looking like that, with Project V just dominant in the server, able to find the picks necessary against OSP, and I think OSP just kind of giving away some of those picks as well, and this is exactly what I talked about during the entire game on Chalet last time that Osprey played against C Project, another Project team. They were able to beat them on Chalet, but it was with a lot of trial and error. It was with a lot of difficulty because of just, despite Dookie doing really well and single-handedly just converting some of the rounds for Osprey, there was just a complete lack of team play, and that's something that was costing them even against C Project. And as we can see for Project V, they have their bases covered. I think they're very good with their fundamentals. They're taking it slow, they're taking map control, they're playing their crossfires, their refrags. You've got Raze consistently going in on entries. When he dies, he gets traded, and when he wins the gunfight, he continues and just takes another gunfight. And that's just going to continue going until Raze is dead or the round is over. And Dookie finds the opening pick onto Raze. There we see it. No immediate refrag from Project V, but a bit of map control gained as Mac does have to pull himself back down into the basement. And with 45 seconds off the clock, you can see SPG already have decent cash control. And they're going to try and start clearing Con next.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that Project V are taking their training work quite perfectly, because they take their map control quite fast. They're already in CCTV and essentially lost their first entry fragger quite early into the round, but I don't think that will hold them back anytime soon. But as we can see, they're going for a CC cache attack and not for a jacuzzi breach. Well, that's quite interesting to see as well. But I mean, they lost their ace already, so that's kind of sad. They still have those thermite charges, but I don't think he will rotate onto the jacuzzi to get that breach open. However, I would say that's quite a
Damien.
Actually, I'm behind.
Yeah, Damien's just, he's tearing through them at the moment. He did get rid of the ace. He does kill Hauptmann as well, and now we're in a 2v5 with Dookie just patiently waiting inside of Cash Corner. But at the moment, just nothing much really happening. Project V, they've stumbled. They've lost a lot of players now, and I credited them for their ability to refrag and to play together. But at the moment, just Osprey on this gym, I'm wondering why they didn't go here earlier. Just able to take that down, and here we go. SPG is able to find an opening pick, but Damien trades back immediately with a triple for himself in the round. And now it's only down to SPG, who's outside on highway, and he's just waiting. He's holding angles. He's not really sure what to do. He might just give Project V a little timeout going into the defense. They might be able to talk about what side do we want to go to, what strat do you want to bring, what's the setup like, is there anything that we can, counter immediately? Is there something that we know about Osprey Order where we can say, okay, if we rat in that position, we know they don't drone that? Or you just want to go for your standard stuff? And at the moment, just waiting for the timer to run out. SPG just trying to go for that diffuser inside of Cash. And he'll get taken down soon, and there he goes. Damien takes him down, and I think that's a quad kill for Damien in the round, and Osprey finally put their first coherent round on the board.
Yeah, well, the Osprey Order fans love to see that first victory round on the board for Osprey Order, finally taking one of the 6 rounds on defense against Project V, the underdogs of the game, but essentially putting up quite a strong fight. Sorry. Putting up quite a strong fight against Osprey Order, the favorites of the game, when we first loaded into the match. As we can see, Project V, they opt for basement as well. They immediately going for the Mira and the Capcan, which is quite interesting, as Osprey Order didn't opt for that Mira the first time around, neither did they for the second defense round. Capcan, quite interesting to see where they will place those charges as well. As the Oryx in play, going for an home, I'd assume, but yeah, as I said, I'm quite interesting to see how the Capcom will play out. As we can see that Capcom is already putting his charges into lounge as well, so quite interesting, quite interesting.
Yeah, also nice Valcam inside a kitchen.
Yeah.
Thanks to the free cam feature, we can now catch that with our beautiful observer Aguan just getting that for us. And you can find a lot of fun things with the free cam, especially now that they've added a lot of hidden skulls on every map, and you can go and find them. And that might have something to do with October coming up soon. You know, Halloween's right around the corner. And with free cam, you finally get to explore every nook and cranny of the map. You can find a lot of spots that maybe you weren't even aware of before, because you can now look at everything from the top, from the bottom, from the side, anywhere you want to. And in the meantime, KP gets the opening pick onto Slash, but not without taking a lot of damage himself. But as long as he's still alive, he can still use those Selmas, and that's what matters ultimately, is Raze is on a big top floor roam. He does get droned out. Just find that drone inside a cache and now pulls himself back. You can see just a minute off the board. He's trying to find a player on main stairs. And there we go. He finds the engagement against the Buck. Buck gets injured. He does finish it off, but immediately traded.
That's right, yeah.
As Mac takes him down. There we go. We've got a 4v3 man advantage for Osprey Order. And now they've got full top floor control. They're going to try and pull themselves downward. And we'll see if they can do the utility game in the mid round now. Just do their due diligence. Just open up the floor. Get the hatches open. Make sure you clear a lot of utility on site. Maybe waste a smoke canister or two. And just wait for the execute to roll around so you can kill the remaining players of Project V. But instead, you've got fight ensuing close on Hauptmann. He does take the fight to Dookie, and there we go. He does take him down. Dookie down for the count again. Hauptmann having a really good game at the moment. And so man count is equalized, and Osprey just stalling a little as Isis just inside a freezer. I think he might have gone undroned.
Yeah, he's holding that hatch, but I don't think Osprey Order will go for that hatch, essentially. I think they will go back down to main. However, I don't know if they will opt for that hatch. I think that...
At the moment, there's still a minute. There's still time for them to rotate. You can see them going for main stairs right about now, and 50 seconds left. Just still continuing to play down that timer, and now we're in the territory where SPG can just deny an area of the map for the entire rest of the round. He still has 3 canisters left, and with every second they become more valuable as long as he does use them. Now,
Attackers have located a bomb.
all right. I think I should be back on now. I hope I can be heard. All right. Quickly tell me, production, tell me, how am I doing with delay when I'm using RTMP? Is that good, or that's on spot? Okay, that's good.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Okay, so what we were saying is, I mean, I would love to commentate on the previous round, but my feed was literally stuck on like the last 30 seconds, so I couldn't quite see what happened. So if you could just recap that last couple of seconds for me real quick.
Yeah, I can quickly do that. I mean, it's important for how the round panned out. Ultimately it was Osprey order that took man advantage early, as you remember, and after that in the mid round they stalled heavily. They lost a player. Dookie went down to help man. No trades coming in. It was just a solo play. And then in the late round, Rise, we saw him inside a freezer for the entirety of mid round, just not moving an inch. And you did predict correctly. They did not go for kitchen hatch. Instead, he pushed through freezer or through kitchen, out into kitchen hall, went for a big flank, killed 2 players on moto hatches. They were about to go for a drop, just completely denied the execute, and then it was Damien in a 1v3, and there's no way he's going to win that with 20 seconds. So Project V just very dominant here at the moment.
Yeah, we can also see that Project V is opting for Jim instead of CCTV as their secondary side. It shows that they both have other visions on how those setups work. But as we can see, Mac already dropped out first 30 seconds, and there goes the SPG from a nade. I thought it was a C4 kill from the from the mute, but never mind me. It was an A kill on the CC.
Credit given from SPG for that nice nade. I was sure that C4 was going to connect. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
yeah.
who shot that out, but that must have been a great shot because it landed right next to one of the attackers. And somehow we've still got everyone on OSP alive, and so they have their lifeline, but they don't really have the breach open at the moment. They still got that mute jammer. I think it might be on red, so I don't think the Maverick can even clear it. So KP just struggling on that breach, just holding the cross at the moment, but there's no way he can get in. And so we can see the difference between the two teams as Raze, again, he's so good on these entry picks. He found one, he's going to find a second in the round, giving that man advantage over to his team yet again. And this is the difference between Project V and Osprey. Project V took 1 death and were inside of cash CC within like 40 seconds. And Osprey are now on attack, and you can see half the round is gone, and they haven't even managed to open the main CC breach. They have opened Jacuzzi, however. You can see RPK and KP both going for that. Just trying to get rid of that mirror window, doing so successfully, and now Slash is just playing a close shotgun angle, seeing if he can catch anybody. They go for a wide swing, they can just able to find both of them on the main breach. The new shotgun just taking down 2 of them, and with 50 seconds left, yet again, Damien in a 1v3. We've seen this before. And now he's able to find the first pick onto the Mira, does find the second onto the Azami as well, and suddenly makes it a 1v1. And so it's only down to Damien and Slash. Slash just passive, holding an angle, making sure he doesn't overexpose himself. Damien was going for a bit of a drone. I think he did get caught up by a mute jammer, maybe. And now he's moving himself inside a con. Slash is aware of that. There's a fight going to ensue very soon. Struggling at the moment to get that fight through. And an aid coming in from Damien, and he gets his head taken off by Slash, and there we go. That's GG's, and what looked to be just from the matchup on the scoreboard, or on the leaderboard inside of this league, we thought that Osprey were going to have the upper hand, but instead, all right, just a dominant Project V victory.
Yeah, it really was a dominant victory of Project V. Osprey need to straighten up their problems. I wouldn't necessarily say that we saw enough on the attacking side to see whether there were some big mistakes there, but definitely they need to have a look at their defenses rounds, need to rewatch the VOD, see what they can improve, because